Hi, this is Tim Young with Elevate Software, and today I'm going to be demonstrating the HTML form functionality in the Elevate Web Builder framework. I'll get started by opening up a project that I've already created called Form Submit. Pull up the main form. The way that the HTML form functionality works in the Elevate Web Builder framework is through the form and panel components. You can use either one of those two components to submit a form to a backend web server. The properties and methods that make this possible are the form encoding, which defaults to multi-part form data, the form method, which defaults to post, the form output page, which is a reference to a T-page control, where the output from the post operation that comes back from the web server can be directed. If you don't specify a form output page, the submittal results will simply be eaten by the framework. And then finally, the form URL property, which is the actual URL that is used for the form submittal. In this particular project, I have skipped using the form layer properties and instead I'm using the panel level properties. As you can see here, I've got the form output page directed to a T-page control that is actually on this form but behind this other panel. If I send this panel to the back, you can see the T-page control right here. Let me send that panel back. That panel is actually not visible. It's made visible as the submittal process is executed. The form URL for the panel is HTTP localhost form submit. The form submit resource is a predefined resource that is used by the local web server in the Elevate Web Builder IDE to accept form submittals and then echo the variables that were received through the form submittal back to the IDE, and they subsequently show up in the messages view here. In addition to that, they will also show up on the T-page control because we have the output directed there. On the panel, I have just some normal basic controls here. I have a couple edits, a checkbox, a memo. I have an edit to hold the name of a file that is selected. That is actually read-only, but it's a normal T edit. The next control, though, is an important control. It is a T file upload button. Now, this is a special button that allows the end user to select a file for upload as part of the form submittal process. When you click on the button, it displays a file dialog for the operating system. Once the user selects a file, the onChange event will fire. In this particular case, I have it set so that when the onChange fires, the file name edit control will be populated with the name of the file that was selected. In addition to that, I also have a normal button called clear that will, once you click on it, will actually call the clear method for the select file button, which will actually clear out the selected file so that there won't be any files sent along with the form submittal process. And when you click on the submit form itself, this is not like a normal HTML submit button. It is a normal button, and what it's doing instead is it's calling the submit form method, which is a method that's present both in panels and forms, just like the properties, which will actually go and submit the form and execute the entire post process. The submittal process itself, because it's controlled by you, the developer, all of the variables and edit controls and all the controls used for the form submittal process can be validated before the submit form method is called. So you are in complete control of the entire process. So I'm going to go ahead and run this in the IDE. The controls are already populated for convenience, but I'll click Remember Me, and what I'm going to do is select a file. There's a picture. Click, and I'm going to click on Submit. And the T page is echoing back the variables received by the local web server, and they are all the values that we inputted. I can hide results and go back to the beginning, but I'm going to close down that. And if you look at the bottom, you can see in the messages view that it logged that a form was submitted along with all the values that were submitted. And we can double click on that at any time, and now we can see the form variables that were submitted. You can also save these to a text file by clicking the Save button. So we'll close that down. Also, you can see that the size of the application, the compiled application, is 466K approximately. That's not compressed. To give you an idea of what size we're talking about, I'll compress it real quick. Recompile, and you can see it's about 179K approximately. So they stay normally pretty small once they're compressed. So that's the form submittal functionality. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at support@elevatesoft.com. And thank you for your time.